These two homes are exactly the same, yet this home is exempt from paying taxes on over $400,000 of its fair market value due to South Carolina's unfair tax laws. Welcome back, everybody. As always, I am Bill, your favorite YouTubing Charleston realtor, and today we're talking about the absolutely exciting topic of property taxes. Make sure to stick around till the end though, because I've got some tips on how you can make sure that you have the lowest possible taxes that you can get. Let's get into this and break down these two homes right here. First, the similarities of these homes. Both homes are about 3,000 square feet with 4 bedrooms and 2.5 bathrooms. Home number 1 was built in 2014. Home number 2 was built in 2015. Both of these homes are here in Charleston, in Mount Pleasant, in the Dunes West neighborhood, and they're really only about 1.5 blocks from each other. So that puts them both in the town of Mount Pleasant tax district. Both homes are primary residences. And in 2023, this home paid around $2,100 for their property taxes, and this home paid around $3,600. So why is this? Well, this home had a tax appraisal of $560,200, and this home had a tax appraisal of $990,000. Now, this is a huge difference. So you're probably asking yourself, why is one of these properties exempt from over $400,000 on their fair market value from being taxed? And this all comes down to not only how properties are assessed for tax purposes, but how they're reassessed for tax purposes. Quick disclaimer, I'm a realtor, not a tax professional. These are just my observations, thoughts, and opinions. So this is not tax advice. If you need tax advice, please consult your tax professional. So the South Carolina state tax law, when it comes to reassessments, states that a property cannot be assessed more than 15% of its value every 5 years, unless that property is sold, in which case the assessed value becomes the sales price. And what we're going to talk about is all kind of base level stuff, because you can get into like partial caps if you add a pool and all that. We're not going to get into that. We're going to talk about just a base house. Nothing has been done to it. All right, as an example, you purchase a home for $500,000. Your tax appraisal at that time becomes $500,000. Now, in 5 years, the max that it could be assessed would be 15% more, which would turn it into $575,000 taxable appraisal. However, if the value of your home has become $625,000 after 5 years, you're still only able to be taxed on that $575,000, hence being exempt from paying taxes on $50,000 of your home's fair market value. Now, per state law, every county is required to assess no more or less than every 5 years. Here in Charleston County, and it does fall on like 2010, 2015, 2020, and then our next assessment is in 2025. So now let's go back and look at our subject properties, specifically Home 1, which sold in 2016 for $525,000. So its next assessment came up in 2020, in which case they said that it had appreciated 7% over those 4 years to $560,200. Now, this was before all the craziness happened over the past few years in the pandemic. So what's going to happen next year when that tax assessment comes up? It can actually only go up 15% from that $560,200 tax appraisal. And we know that it has appreciated much more than just that 50%, but the max allowable taxed would be around $644,200. So what will their cap exemption be in 2025? Well, we don't know exactly. However, this same floor plan recently just sold in Dunes West for $1,025,000.
$1 million.
So if we take that 15% added to this property, they're still being exempt from nearly $400,000, it's like $380,000 that they're exempt from paying taxes on the value of their home. I can already hear it down in the comments. You guys are probably going crazy saying, oh, well, this is all the transplants that are coming from up north. They deserve to be taxed more anyways for coming down here and ruining Charleston. But that's not the case at all, I don't think. And we've got to look at this on both sides here. So yes, when people are moving here and purchasing a home, they're being taxed much more than someone who's owned their home for a few years, or I mean, even a few decades. Think of that. They've got these incredibly low tax bills. But where it does affect the locals, wherever you are in South Carolina, is if you sell your home and you move, you've got to pay these higher taxes now. And whoever purchases your home is going to have to pay much higher taxes than you have throughout the years. So if you're looking for homes online and you see like on Zillow where it says what the taxes were last year and they're incredibly low, chances are someone has owned that home for an extremely long time and it's only been able to go up 15% every 5 years, as opposed to like the 30 to 60% we've seen in some areas over just the past 3 to 4 years. Now, when we back up even more and look at the big picture, in South Carolina since the year 2000, now this includes the rapid appreciation during the pandemic as well, the average annual appreciation across the state is around 4.5% year over year. So yeah, it's still higher than that 3%, but I'm sure if we took these past couple of years out, that we would see that number drop. So really at the end of the day, is it unfair? Some people will say that it is, especially if you purchase a home and your taxes greatly jump from what you thought they were gonna be. Charleston County and most counties that I know in South Carolina have some great tax estimators online. If you need help on using one of them, just reach out to me, because you can kind of figure out based on the sales price or even what you're shopping for, what those taxes are going to be once you get in that home, and not have to rely on what that seller was paying for the past couple years. And also, this tax law didn't take into effect that we were going to go into a pandemic and rates were going to get down in the 2s and values were going to skyrocket. So it was more of a protection in case something happened, that it was capped, where unlike other states, like I believe in Texas, your taxes can just skyrocket seemingly for no reason. And we don't have that here. So I think this is actually a very good tax law. It'll take a long time for that gap to kind of catch up with itself with that rapid appreciation we just had, and moving forward if things normalize again. And as promised, I said I would let you know how to make sure you got the lowest taxes possible. And now, when these reassessments come out every 5 years, this probably isn't going to happen this next time to see maybe your tax appraisal is higher than what you think your home's value is. Chances are it's going to be lower, especially if you lived in the home for a long time. But there is a protest process. So if it is higher, you can just jump online. There's a form you need to fill out. And if you need any help with that to figure out like the actual value of your home, if you think it's too high, please reach out to me. I'd be glad to pull some data from the MLS for you to help your case, because you are going to have to present a case to the South Carolina Department of Revenue on why you feel that your home's value was over appraised and you think you'd be paying too much in taxes. Now, you do only have 90 days from when they mail that out. So if you think it's happening, contact me. We can look at it, see if that's something that you should go after. So what do you think? Tax law, fair, unfair? Let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts. And if you have a way of like trying to figure out how to make it fair, if you think it's unfair, let us know, because I can't really think of a better system right now that kind of works for everyone. So check out this video right here as well, and I'll see you on the next one.